A subscriber of mine had left a comment on the video I did about the hold your own wontons. That's still getting a lot of traction. And shout out to the people that are still leaving comments on that video. And it basically is almost in the same type of repetition that everyone else has been saying. Black people need to stay out of those businesses. They need to stop supporting them. They'll never support you the way that you support them, which I completely agree with. And I think I finally have a reasoning as to why Black people, whether knowingly or unknowingly, continue to support those particular businesses. And that reasoning is because of the lack of knowledge and history behind the racism that has occurred between the Asian community and the Black community. Because for the longest, it was always, the whole palm colored versus black type of deal. But we never explored the racism more in depth when it came to other communities. Now, I have a picture up here of Latasha Harlins because while she's probably not the beginning of it, she definitely has a pivotal role as far as it goes. And believe it or not, everybody does not know of her story. If you were born of a certain generation, like say in the 2000s or something like that, you may not be familiar with her story. Her story is not told in history books, mainly because when they talk about racism against Black people, they're mostly talking about palm colored people being racist against Black people, and they don't talk about it from any other standpoint. But Latasha Harlins' murder definitely plays a huge part into the Asian versus Black people racism. I guess you could say archetype. I guess you could put it that way. But for those of you who don't know, basically Latasha Harlins, and I have to explain this again for those watching, maybe me for the first time, that she was in the store. She was purchasing some orange juice. I believe it was $1.59 at the time. The Asian store worker, a female, claims that she was trying to steal it. I think they got into like a little altercation. I don't know if it was physical, more verbal. Latasha Harlins put the money on the counter and began to walk out. The lady pulled a gun out and shot her in the back of the head as she was walking out the store. Now, mind you, Latasha Harlins was like 13, I want to say. She was very young. She was still a kid. And they had a trial and they ended up finding this woman not guilty. And right after she was pretty much exonerated and found not guilty, they rushed her out the back door and had her to leave not only the state of California, but they had her leave the establishment because they knew people was going to come for her and they were prepared. They were coming for her head. They were coming for her and they knew it. So if she is still alive to this day, she's not here. As far as I know, she's most likely back in her country. And then you can fast forward to everything that's been going on today. We know with Peter Liang and the Akai Gurley situation and all the Asian store owners who constantly accuse Black shoppers of stealing. And what's such a shame is that you'll have some Black people that don't like the other Black people that will agree that Black people stole or tried to steal from them. And that's not even the case. But it's always a stigma that Black people steal. There's a lot of stereotypes that are placed on the Black people when it comes to this. So when I see other Black people, especially like the one in the video I did about Karuchi, talking about anti-Asian xenophobia and things of that nature, I'm like, y'all just completely overlook how Asians have been treating Black people in particular for these last few years, probably the last few decades. And now that they're getting their wake up call, you want us to run to their aid because Black people are supposed to just drop whatever we're doing, throw on the K for them, and then just do whatever. And to protect them. Like we are supposed to be the super saviors of all the quote unquote minority groups. Nah, not this time. I think a lot of people are starting to slowly but surely back away and see what's being put in place. Now everyone else they're going to have to do for themselves. I know that's where I'm standing on it. I know that's where many of my subscribers are standing on it. It is what it is. Sorry, I had to step away right quick. But basically, and I have no idea where I left off at, so hopefully I pick myself back up. But basically, all I'm saying is that because of the lack of knowledge that a lot of our people, especially those born of a certain time, don't have access to, or they choose not to learn about, they will always try to seem sympathetic to those who will never understand or fully even try to grasp our plight, nor would they want to. That's why you keep seeing people putting tweets up saying, oh, go and support these Asian businesses and everything like that. And most of them are some self-hating fools anyway, because they would never get out there and ride behind a black business at all. And I have not seen one of them do it. This goes back to with the whole Lena Waithe situation. Remember when that movie Crazy Rich Asians was about to come out, and she was saying we need to go out there and support Crazy Rich Asians the same way we went out and supported Black Panther. And I'm like, just a couple weeks prior to that movie coming out, you had that movie Sorry to Bother You get released, and it was a low budget film that had a majority black cast and was created by a black director that could have used your voice, Lena Waithe. But no, you want to throw your support behind the Asians who had a bigger budget behind them, and just completely shun the fact that just a couple weeks prior, a independent film, meaning low budget, had came out and you didn't give them any kind of support. Imagine what your voice could have did for them had that happened. But oh no, you had to throw us in there and then say, go out and support them the same way if we can go out and support Black Panther. She basically said, if we can go out and support Black Panther, then we can go out and support Crazy Rich Asians. That's why that's one of many reasons why I can't stand Lena Waithe. I have a huge issue with her. And she's going to get her wake-up call began when her wife ended up leaving her. But I think it's because Lena Waithe was cheating on her. And I think that was the reason, or at least that's the reason that they gave. But we can't deal with people like that. We just can't. I don't know. They love wearing that cape and carrying that water. Well, I'm tired of the cape draping and the water carrying. They can have all of that if they want to. And then those Asians will still treat you like the shit that they serve out of them carryouts. But that's really all I have to say as it pertains to this right here. But some people, like I said, willingly choose to be naive, or willingly choose to continue to push this we're all wanting this POC thing. And that's another terminology that I hate, that person and people of color thing. And people saying that we all need to be together, we all need to be as one. They don't even acknowledge the role that they played in this. You know what? Let me stop. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I will talk to you in the next one.